So I have put in to Google scary ghost stories ever, and we'll go through some of these. Let's have a look. Let's have a look. We've got urban legends, which is based on horror stories or ghosts, or legend, which means basically uh, it's sort of something, somebody has said something has happened or something has happened, and throughout time, as time has passed, maybe 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, 50 years, 100 years, the story becomes, turns into almost like a legend. It's almost like it couldn't possibly have happened, and if it did, it's part of like a fairy tale story. It's an urban legend. Um, there's those kinds of stories that are going on. Let's have a look at one actually. This is thoughtcompany.com, which is a really good website. It has a lot of written material. Uh, oh wow, so we've got the clown statue, the dead boyfriend. I'm sure you're interested in that. Aren't you glad you didn't turn off the light? No, I'm not glad. I'll keep the light on, thanks. The vanishing hitcher. Well, hear what? I have got a story for you about a hitchhiker that four of us saw. Four of us in a car. I was driving, and three friends, and we was driving through a forest actually, similar to this. And the girl we picked up looked like, not like this, she looked like she'd been night clubbing. I mean, she was wearing a short skirt, she was dressed up. The only real strange thing about her was that she was really pale in colour. I mean, ghostly white they call it. She was a white English girl. She was definitely English or, you know, European of some kind. She spoke English. We were in a forest on the west side, just outside the west part of London, in a place called Slough, and the forest is called Burnham Beeches because it's just full of beech trees. It's really similar to this picture, and we used to drive through there just for kicks, just for laughs. You know, we were teenagers and we'd look to freak each other out. You know, driving through there. I'd drive through there, I'd turn all my lights off and it'd be pitch black, and you know, we'd scare each other kind of thing. Real kind of, you know, teenage kid stuff. One night we were through there, and I mean, to drive the whole extent, the whole size of the forest, a good few square miles, and probably more. And it's a maze of little lanes going in and out. I visited there when I was a kid. We used to go there on school trips, so I knew the place quite well. So, you know, drive us there, Bobs. Okay, I'll drive us there. You know, I just got my driving license. We were all teenagers. We were just excited to get out. We end up going to Burnham Beeches, and just like this girl is standing here, I drive slowly past her, and my friend is, his name is JP. We look at each other and we say, wait, and I stop the car, and JP winds out the window and calls to her, and she comes, and I said, look, do you need a lift? You know, because we're bang in the middle of this forest. There's lanes going in every direction. You can't see the sky above you because the canopy of trees above. And this girl, she came into the car, she seemed alright. Just, it felt really cold. And I'm driving, I've got my, you know, the rear view mirror, which is the mirror to see behind you. So I'm looking at her, and she sat right in the middle, so I'm looking right at her. And, you know, her eyes catching my eye in the mirror. And we're saying, like, you know, what's going on, what's happening, you know, why are you here? And she said, well, I was just clubbing. And I said, you're clubbing and you're walking out here in the middle of the night? And she said, yeah, I just live up like. Well, I said, well, let me drive you home. She said, fine, I was just out of the forest. And she took us through this road, that road, another road. And we finally got to the edge of the forest. And at the edge of the forest is a load of houses. Um, Strangely situated. It's like a little side road that has been built with like a load of terraced houses. And I said, "You gonna be all right?" She said, "Yeah." I said, "Look, any chance, because I'm completely lost now. This is another side of the forest I've never been to actually. Can you write me on this piece of paper the directions to leave?" And she was really nice, and she wrote it. But we all felt that this girl, it was really odd that she was there. Nobody's ever there, and we know women shouldn't be there anyway, because there's lots and lots of old stories of people being killed there. One time I'd gone there with there was about 3 or 4 carloads of us piled into the forest, and we built a little fire. Of course the police came after a while because they wanted to know what the hell these kids were making a fire for. But they were friendly enough, and they said, as long as you're safe and everything. And we started to talk to them. I'm not sure if they was just scaring us so that we could leave, but they were saying, there's been many killings here and a lot of murders, and there's witchcraft and stuff, and people do kind of strange things here. And they were saying, whatever you do, try and be careful and go home in about an hour. Don't leave it too late. And by that time it was about 11 o'clock, so we thought, okay, about midnight we'll leave. And so we've heard plenty of stories, and this girl should not be there. Really, she's insane, and she's wearing a shorts party outfit, literally a party outfit, perfect makeup, just really pale, death-like, I would say. The next day, JP called me up, and he says, on the piece of paper, have you got that piece of paper? And with the map, we started to talk about the girl, and I went in the car and I got the piece of paper, and on the piece of paper there was nothing on it. There was no line she'd drawn, there was no map to leave the forest. But that's a similar, I'm not sure if this story is anything like it, but looking at this image just brought up that memory instantly, and it's giving me the chills. So we've got the vanishing hitchhiker, which is basically, this girl was a hitchhiker who got into my car, and I gave her a lift, and she got out, and then the piece of paper, it's got nothing on it anyway. Here's the story of this one. I'm not sure what country it's in, but as darkness fell, the honeymooner, the vanishing hitchhiker. Well, this sounds vaguely familiar. This is like a replica of my story. But known as the ghost hitchhiker, the phantom hitchhiker, and the lady in white. So a newly-wed couple, Nathan and Heather, were driving up the northern California coast to spend their dream honeymoon in an quaint bed and breakfast with a seaside view. So they're in America. They're on the west coast. They had hoped to arrive before dark, but a heavy fog had descended on Highway 1, and their progress was slow. They were at least an hour and a half from their destination as night fell. If you've ever driven that stretch of the highway, you know how tortuous it can be, with its narrow lanes and switchback curves. It was they were rounding one of these curves that they passed a solitary hitchhiker, a woman in a wispy white dress standing on the shoulder with a thumb outstretched. "Good luck getting a ride overnight like this," muttered Nathan under his breath. "Stop the car and turn around," said Heather. "Please, she's all alone. We have to give her a ride." "We're 2 hours late. Please." Nathan pulled off the road and turned around. As they approached the girl from the opposite direction, they could see her dress was in tatters. Her face was pale and gaunt. "Can we give you a ride?" Heather asked as they pulled up beside her. "Oh, thank you," said the young woman, who appeared to be in her late teens or early 20s. "I have to get home. My parents will be worried sick." "Where do you live?" asked Nathan. Just down the road, about 10 miles, she said, climbing into the back seat. Wow, this story is reminiscent of my story. There's an intersection with an abandoned gas station. Across from there, it's a White House with a rose garden. They're waiting for me. As they made their way again, Heather attempted to make conversation, but the girl fell silent and slumped into the back seat, apparently asleep. After about 15 minutes, Nathan spotted the dilapidated service station. Is this it? He asked. Hey, is this the intersection? Heather turned to wake the young woman and caught her breath. Nathan, she's gone. What do you mean she's gone? Nathan said, pulling to the driveway of the White House. How can she be gone? She was right. The hitchhiker had vanished. A light came on and two people, an elderly couple, stepped out onto the porch. Can we help you? The man asked. He looked as though he dreaded hearing the answer. I don't know, Nathan began. We were driving and we picked up this hitchhiker, a girl, and she gave you this address, said the man, and asked you to bring her home? Yes, said Heather. And then she was gone. Heather nodded. You aren't crazy, the man said, and you're not the first. She was our daughter. Her name was Diane. She passed away 7 years ago, killed by a hit-and-run driver on the highway. They never caught whoever did it. I guess her spirit won't rest until they do. Nathan and Heather were speechless. Won't you come inside for a coffee or tea, said the woman. You've had a shock. Come in, sit down. No, thank you, but no, we're late, said Heather. We have to go. After exchanging uncomfortable goodbyes, the newlyweds departed as they had arrived in stunned silence. Wow, this has actually happened to me. And my sister was in this. Same. She was in the car. And also, I still have the other girl who was my girlfriend at the time. She's still a friend, and she can verify that too.